Hello everyone. Now in this video I am going to be going over the Warframe Styanax. Now I'd like you to keep in mind that this is a beginner friendly guide. But with that being said, we are going to be going over everything you need to know about the frame, ranging from, but not limited to, where you could farm him, the difference between Styanax and Styanax Prime, his abilities and augments, and then last but not least, we're going to wrap things up with a high-level showcase to show you what he is capable of, even with the most basic entry-level build. I hope you guys enjoy the video, so sit back and relax. So Styanax can be obtained one of two ways, right? One, you can purchase him from the market for 175 plat. Or, the second, and if I may say so, a bit more painful way to obtain him, is by doing the Carl missions at the Drifter Camp. When you do the missions, you do challenges, you get stock. That stock can then be traded in to gain weapons, accessories, that kind of stuff, right? Now, mixed in with all those items, right, is the Styanax parts. Now, each of them are going to cost a certain amount of standing, or in this case, stock, in order to obtain them. So, yeah. Now, moving on, he has 270 health, 825 shields, 265 armor, and 175 energy, as well as a base sprint speed of 1. Okay, but what's stopping me from going with Styanax Prime over regular Styanax? Well, quite frankly, nothing. Styanax Prime is a clear improvement, right? He has more shields, and he has more energy, as well as that glorious Prime cosmetic upgrade. So, I mean, you can go with Styanax Prime over regular Styanax until you are comfortable with doing the Carl missions, so as you can gain Styanax for Mastery. So, I have Styanax Prime, but I have no idea how he works. Well, that's perfectly fine. Let me educate you. Right, so his passive, right? Essentially the way the passive works is this. Whenever he has shields, he gains increased critical chance. And that increased critical chance doubles with spear guns. Wink wink, nudge nudge, Scourge Prime. Now, Axios Javelin, right? Basically, you throw a spear. If it impales an enemy against a wall, it explodes, creating a vortex which will then pull in other enemies, right? Now, it has a energy cost of 15. It has a throw range of 50 meters, meaning you can throw it from 50 meters away, right? It does primarily puncture and blast damage, right? Which is about 1,250 for each, and the vortex lasts for about 8 seconds. The explosion range is about 15 meters at base, right? But we can improve this with the use of mods. Now, before I tell you which mods, I'd like to bring a specific set of mods to your attention. Now, the Augur set are positively phenomenal, especially for stand-in mods for when you are looking for, you know, those more higher level mods, like the corrupted mods that offer those juicy bonuses. Now, Augur Secrets, right? That gives you strength. But the set bonus makes it so that whenever you cast an ability, 40% of that energy is then converted into additional shields. Now, the benefit of this, especially with Styanax, right, is that then loops into his passive, creating crit chance, right? So you cast an ability, you gain shields, which then gives you crit chance, which is really cool, right? Now, as I was saying before, we can further improve this ability with the use of mods. Which mods? These mods. So, first one, Augur Secrets, right? Augur Secrets is going to increase the initial piercing damage, which is the puncture damage, and the explosion damage. Instead of dealing 1,250, it's going to be dealing 1,550, right? Now, if we add on Augur Reach, right, that is going to increase the radius of the vortex, which we can then use to further pull in more enemies, right? And it's also going to increase how far away we have to be before the spear can impale a target. So you can impale it from about anywhere between 0 and 50 meters away, but if you have more range, you can be further away. And in this case, 65 meters away. Now, the next part I'm going to be talking about is Augur Message, right? This mod gives you more duration, right? So it is going to make it so that the vortex will last longer. Now, last but not least, I'm going to be talking about efficiency, right? Efficiency is what's going to reduce the initial cost of the ability. And in this case, right, it reduces the cost of Axios Javelin from 15 to 10.5. Now, the next ability, Tharos Strike. This is your main survivability slash defense reduction ability, right? So it has an energy cost of 25 energy, a range of 9 meters, a damage of 1000 impact damage. It restores 100 health and reduces enemies' defenses by 50%. Now, since we have mods in the config, you can see the numbers in green, right? So, due to the fact that we have efficiencies such as Streamline, that's reducing the initial cost to 17.5. Augur Reach is increasing the range of the ability to 11.7 meters. Augur Secrets is increasing the damage, the health obtained, and the defense reduction of the ability, right? So, 1,250 impact damage, 124 health obtained per enemy hit, mind you, and 62% defense reduction. That is juicy. Now, the next ability, Rally Point. Think of this like a taunt in like most fantasy games. You pop the ability and then enemies focus on you, right? Now, it has a drain of 75 energy. It lasts for about 30 seconds. It has a 30-meter radius. Now, this radius is more, it's not so that the enemies get taunted. This radius is for allies, so as they can pick up the buffs. What buffs, you ask? Well, the shield per kill, right? So every time you kill an enemy, or every time an ally kills an enemy, they are going to replenish shields, and in this case, they're going to be replenishing 62 shields per kill, right? And energy regeneration rate, right? This is going to be a consistent energy regen for as long as the ability is active for, right? Now, given the fact that we have Streamline, our ability cost has been reduced to 52.5. Given the fact that we have Augur Message, our ability duration went up from 30 to 37.2. Now, since we have Augur Reach, it basically makes it so that our allies can be a little further away when they pick up the buff, right? So they don't have to be as close. Instead of 30, it's 39. Now, Strength is going to be increasing the shield per kill and the energy regeneration rate. And our main strength mod here being Augur Secrets. Now, last but definitely not least is Final Stand. Essentially, you jump up in the air as spectral Styanaxes surround you, right? and you throw a barrage of spheres, right? Normally, this ability would cost about 100 enter to cast, and it primarily deals slash and blast damage, right? It has an explosive range of about 6 meters, so every time the spears make contact with an enemy or a solid surface, they explode in a 6-meter bubble, right? Now, the explosive damage also scales off of your strength, right? So, more strength, more damage. And in this case, we have about 1,500 explosive damage, right? At base. Now, we can also increase the amount of javelins that we can throw. At base, we can throw a total of 30 javelins, right? Now, if we want to reduce the cost of the ability, we'll check on Streamline. Streamline is going to reduce the cost by about 70, right? Strength is going to increase the damage and the explosive damage from 1,500 to 1,860. Now, range is going to increase the explosive range, and here's the cool part. Duration is going to increase the amount of javelins that we can throw during the animation of the ability. Now, since Styanax Prime didn't come out that long ago, he has not got very many augments, right? But worry not, we're going to be going over all the ones that he currently does have, starting with Axios Javelineers, right? So essentially the way that this works is that whenever you throw an Axios Javelin, you will have 2 additional Styanaxes that will throw an additional Javelin, right? So each one will throw 1, right? So you have 2 in total. Now, unfortunately, you cannot increase the amount of additional Javelins you have. However, you can increase the duration of which the vortex lasts, right, with these duration ones. As you can see, that went up from 5 seconds to 6.2, right? Now, the next augment we're going to be looking at is going to be Tharos Lethality, right? The way that Tharos Lethality works is that whenever you hit an enemy with Tharos Strike, they will take increased critical damage for a duration, right? They will essentially take 100% increased critical damage for about 10 seconds, right? Now, I'm fairly certain we can increase that with the use of Strength Mods. For example, Augur Secrets, right? That's going to increase the amount of critical damage that we can gain from this augment, which is just beautiful, right? Then Duration allows us to make this ability last longer, or this debuff, so to speak, last longer. Now, the third and final augment we're going to be going over is something called Intrepid Stand. Now, this augment is primarily for Styanax's 4th ability, right? This one here. The way that it works is that every enemy hit by your javelins will generate Overguard, and if they die, they generate even more Overguard, right? So, also, as an added benefit, he will also generate 30 Overguard for allies within affinity range as well. So you don't need to worry too much when it comes to range for the augment, right? So, as you can see, we have 60 Overguard per javelin, and we have a Overguard cap of about 15,000. Now, that can be increased using, and wait for it, Strength Mods, right? So Strength Mods are going to increase the initial Overguard that you gain per hit, as well as the Overguard cap.
Your weapons make music. and the enemy calls for a song.
on to you. Look out for troopers. If you have enough from it, this would be an excellent place to deploy it.